Vertical Measures, and I'm here hosting our monthly webinar series. Today's webinar is titled How to Measure and Drive Content Marketing ROI, and will be presented by our very special guest, Andy Crestodina. Andy is the co-founder and strategic director of Orbit Media, an award-winning 38-person web design company in Chicago. He's also a national speaker, a prolific writer, and has dedicated himself to the teaching of marketing, and I'd say he's pretty good at it. He's also the author of Content Chemistry, the illustrated handbook for content marketing. We're excited to have him here today. Before I get started and we hand over the presentation, I just have a couple of housekeeping items to note. We will be recording the webinar, so we will send out a link to both the slides and the video by tomorrow, if not sooner, so you can review. And we'll also be happy to answer any of your questions after Andy's presentation. So if you take a peek at your webinar interface, you will see a little question applet where you can send anything you'd like me to ask Andy at the end. Also, you can tweet us with the hashtag VMWebinar to get questions that way, or to just live tweet and have some fun. So if you're having any technical difficulties, please just attempt to sign out and reconnect, and usually that fixes the problem. So I think that's all the notes I have today, and I will go ahead and hand it off to our presenter, Andy Crestodina.
Thank you, Quinn. Very excited to be here. How do I sound?
Sounds good to me.
Great. If anything comes up, just jump in and let me know if there's any technical difficulties.
Okay,
great. So I am. This is year 15 for me doing digital marketing. I spent a lot of that time doing search optimization and analytics. And it's been about 8 years in content marketing. Back when I added blogging, of course, I started doing social media and email marketing. So hopefully I'm a good person to ask about anything related to content marketing, analytics, or ROI. So I think that if you guys are signed up for this, you're probably in this group of people, this half of all marketers who are struggling to measure the impact. It's tricky. It's really hard to do. What makes sense? What's a good idea? Like, how can we make good decisions based on ROI, based on analytics? A full 63% of projects do not use marketing analytics to inform decisions. So I want to just make it very, very simple and explain this in the easiest terms, how ROI really works. What it comes down to is every decision we make as marketers has to affect one of two numbers. The first number is the total number of people who come in the top of our funnel, visitors, awareness. This is the top line. The second number is the percentage of people who come out of the bottom of the funnel, the conversion rate. Those are leads, those are customers, those are newsletter subscribers, downloaders, sharers, event registrants, webinar registrants. All of you have converted for this. So everything we do has to focus on one of those two numbers. And so this entire presentation is going to be based on that, because that is the heart of content marketing ROI. In analytics, it's actually organized this way. You maybe have seen Google Analytics has A, B, C. Very clever, right? Acquisition, behavior, conversion. In other words, awareness, consideration, action. It's the exact same thing. This is the funnel. It's the organization of reports in analytics. If you've ever done a sales seminar or ever been in a sales role, you've heard this. People work with those that they know, they like, and they trust. Same exact thing, right? Everything you've ever purchased in your life, you had to first be aware of it, you thought about it, and then you took an action. The two numbers that matter, total number of visitors, the percentage of visitors who convert. Here's that same funnel with content marketing applied. A content marketer really only does three things. We make stuff, we promote stuff, and we measure stuff. Create, promote, measure all day long, every day. That's our job. So the stuff we create is often blog posts, but it could be a webinar, could be a video, could be a podcast, could be an infographic, a downloadable guide, everything is content basically. And then that content needs to be promoted through search, through social, through email. Those are the three main channels for promoting content. And we're going to show you how specific tactics for measuring ROI from each of these. Keeping in mind, of course, that it's not the best content that wins. It's the best promoted content that wins. An example I give is that the New York Times does not have a list of the best books. They have a list of the best-selling books, right? That's a sales list. So what we want to do is make sure that we're promoting content. That's more than half of the job. And then we get to measure, not just measure the impact of our efforts, but measure the actions of our audience. Awareness, consideration, and action, all this is measurable. Notice how I have the arrow for search pointed to awareness at the top. It grows the top line. Google's a discovery engine. But search and email, or social and email, reach farther down toward the middle of the funnel, because those micro conversions, follows and subscribes, strengthen the middle of the funnel, encouraging repeat visits. So Content marketing ROI might look complicated. Higher ranking pages in search tend to get exponentially more traffic. That's related to the search ranking position, click-through rate studies. But all of that times the click-through rate is the volume, the number of visitors. The visitors times your conversion rate is leads or sales. Your leads times your closing rate multiplied by the price of your goods minus the delivery cost of those goods. That actually is profit. Wow, that is complicated. This is an actual formula, though, for measuring the dollar ROI of content marketing for a site based on search, keeping in mind the source of traffic being search, click-through rates, number of visitors, converting into leads, leads converting into sales. Okay, we're going to wash our eyes out and just keep this simple and forget we ever saw that and just focus on this, because this is actually simpler and more actionable. This will make better decisions if we just focus on these two main numbers, getting traffic and converting visitors. Not traffic and conversions, traffic and conversion rate. Sometimes I give this presentation and people tweet something about conversions. No, it's the rate. A times B equals success. And traffic, of course, is the top line. Conversion rate is the percentage who act. So content marketers have an amazing ability to affect traffic, but it's really the web designers who have the greatest ability to impact the conversion rates. The website is the mousetrap. The content is the cheese. This is Barry Feldman. He's at Feldman Creative. Brilliant saying. It makes it very simple, right? And so what we're doing as content marketers is making great cheese to attract people to our site, knowing the site has a strong or weak ability to convert those visitors into action takers. Make sense? Websites are mousetraps, content's cheese. It's not strictly true. Great content can actually improve the conversion rate, and great web design can improve the traffic levels. But more or less what we're talking about is trying to attract mice. And I want to show you how to connect the best mousetraps to the best cheese. That's how we're going to drive better content ROI. And we're going to start by starting at just the very top of the funnel. So here we go. The top of the funnel, we have to first decide what topics people want. Actually, we just did a massive blog post on our site, just went live today, about how to find topics. I'm going to give you kind of the highlights here. Basically, the difference between content marketing and advertising is that advertising is pitching, it's interrupting people, it's pushing messages out. Content is attracting people, it is pulling them toward you, and the philosophy is totally different. We're going to help our audience make a buying decision. Not about selling, it's about helping them make a buying decision. So here are the three top sources of topics, and they each have the ability to affect different parts of the sales funnel, actually. Top of the funnel, keywords, middle of the funnel, social and questions and answers, and bottom of the funnel, conversion, sales, listening. Okay, here's a great hack for finding great topics. Here's how we're going to drive ROI and fill the top of the funnel. We're going to focus on, first, Google Suggest. Question word plus your topic word will give you tons of blog posts you could write about tomorrow and rank for next week. I've done this many dozens of times. Literally, just put in a question word in your topic, and you'll find what people are looking for. These topics are all vetted and have an advantage in search, vetted by Google. But long and slow and boring to type the next letter of the alphabet to find all the things Google would suggest. Thankfully, someone made a little tool that makes it easy. Keywordtool.io, the link's down here, we will be sharing the slides, actually scrapes Google Suggest and gives us hundreds of suggestions for any topic that we enter. So which cheese can you freeze? Which cheese can I eat while I'm pregnant? Which cheese can be given to babies? Never would have thought of these. Our new dairy company, we're going to do content marketing for cheese here, going with Barry Feldman's theme. Literally hundreds and hundreds of phrases, each of which has a natural advantage in search. I love this tool. It's going to scrape Google Suggest and give us hundreds of recommendations, each of which has an advantage for top-line total visitors and search optimization. The Google Keyword Planner is another amazing source of topics. We just put in a phrase. Here I've got cheese recipe. Perhaps we have a cheese site with a recipe section. I can see all the phrases that people search for that start with cheese recipe. This does also show me the number of searches. I'm going to hold off on that for now. We're not doing quite yet any keyword research. I'm just looking for topics. And surprise, surprise, mac and cheese, macaroni and cheese, tens of thousands, more than 100,000 total searches per month for macaroni and cheese. So the relative popularity here is pretty interesting. Second most popular cheese recipe is cheese ball recipe. Stranger than fiction. Seriously, can't make this up. Notice grilled cheese is getting 5,400 searches per month. That's kind of a lot. Your own analytics is another great source of topics. Just go look at the acquisition, search optimization queries report. Shows you all the phrases you rank for. the number of times you've appeared in Google search results, the number of clicks, and the average position, as in the average rank. I love this data. You can find phrases for which you rank 12, 11, 12, 13, 14. That means you rank high on page 2. A small amount of SEO tweaks can actually move your rank up a few points, a few positions, which there's lots of tipping points in content marketing. That's one of them, going from page 2 to page 1. No one's ever going to find you on page 2. We always joke, where's the best place to hide a dead body? Page 2 of Google. Analytics is another great source of topics. I call this the report of broken dreams. If your site has a little search box, a search tool, then you can actually see the phrases, as long as you have it set up properly, see the phrases that people are typing into that box, search terms. Now there's a way to add a secondary dimension, it's called, to any report in analytics. In other words, grabbing data from another report and applying it as a second column next to this data here. One of the secondary dimension options is going to be exit page. Look at this. Exit page. Now these are the phrases that people are searching for. These are the exit pages. If some of the exit pages are the search results page itself, these are things that people are not finding. They search for that phrase, but then they exit it on the search results page. This is examples of topics that your audience is literally looking for on your website. All you need to do is to make sure that you create more content on that topic and surface it. This is more about keeping people on your site, a little bit more about the middle of the funnel. Speaking of listening, here Yahoo Answers is still out there, and there's all kinds of topics within Yahoo Answers. Kind of fun. But Quora, this site is so addictive. Questions, answers, people, topics, there is just so much in here. It's a fast-growing network. You can connect with people who answer questions. You connect with the topics. Not only does it give you these topics, but there's a head start on the content itself. Plus, there's people you could connect with, talk to, collaborate with. These are potential co-creators. This is a social media site, so these are people that you could actually work with together on the content. Of course, once we pick our topic, we've got to make something, and here Pamela maybe can help us out. She seems to be a expert on this. But the ultimate source of topics is simply by listening. That's right. We want to listen to our sales team. The sales team has conversations every day. The customer service team has conversations every day. By just understanding what those people are talking about, that's literally our audience telling us what they want to write about. Salespeople do not have a circuit in their brain the way bloggers and content marketers do that say, I've been asked that question 3 times. Why do I keep answering it? Why don't I just publish the answer? See, they don't think that way. They'll keep answering the same question over and over with never publishing it. So you got to break down the silos and go talk to them and actually hijack their laptops and look in their outbox. Great blogging trick. One of the best blogging tricks I know. Your email outbox is filled with topics. It's filled with blog posts. And in many cases, you've already written a very personal, approachable answer. So that's going to be the best way to get those topics, is to really just pull them straight from those people. Client stories, though, are the ultimate source of topics because their voice is so authentic. I have a friend, her name is Dina Goldasich. She has a company in Florida called Well Planned Web. She interviews the end client, her client's client, for 1 hour, transcribes it, tags it into a little database, and from a 1 hour conversation, she can produce 2 white papers, 3 case studies, 11 testimonial quotes, 10 external emails, 9 blog posts, 2 infographics, all from a 1 hour conversation by listening to the end client. Now, once you've found these topics, and if the topics work, and you know that one of these channels, for example, everyone liked that blog post, you can then repurpose that blog post into other formats. This is the periodic table of content. It gave its name to the book that Quinn mentioned and that I'd written second edition of recently. Content Chemistry, kind of a fun name. The idea is that all content on the internet fits onto this. Things at the top have short lifespans, and things at the bottom have a very long lifespan. Things on the left are probably on other people's websites, and things on the right maybe are on your own site. If you wrote something that got a lot of traction, you should repurpose it into other formats, combining little things into bigger things, moving down the line here, or breaking up bigger things and making them small. This webinar, we could probably make it into 3 blog posts. There's a top of funnel, middle, and bottom of the funnel posts involved there. So that's the periodic table of content. If you search for it, you can find it's a guide on how to repurpose content efficiently. So back to Cheese. Here's a Cheese website that just does a terrible job of communicating anything. It's like all over the place, recipes and events and chefs and Wisconsin, and like, look at this stuff over here. I think this is hilarious. In this section, do you really need to say in this section? I'm a web design snob, so I can rant a little bit here. Obviously, you're in this section. You're looking at this section. But even worse, Cheese 101, Cheese Cyclopedia, Glossary of Cheese Terms. Seriously, how do those differ at all in the psychology of their visitor? Doesn't make any sense at all. This is what happens when a bunch of people sit down and decide what to throw on a website and what else to throw on a website and what else do we think should go on this website. Designed by committee, it's awful. This is what happens when you think of your audience. But look at this. This is what happens when you think as your audience. Welcome to the Grilled Cheese Academy. This is the greatest website on the internet for grilled cheese. This will always be the greatest website on the internet for grilled cheese. We saw 5,400 people per month searching for grilled cheese. This is ranks #1 for that phrase and probably will always rank #1 for that phrase. This is thinking of your audience. This is thinking as your audience. So there's a big, big difference between, this is content strategy and a site that knows what it's trying to do. Okay, I'm going to show you a great traffic hack. This is how to find the lowest hanging fruit, the fastest way I know how to increase traffic and increase ROI on your website. We want to look first at your top content and find which of your pages is attracting a lot of traffic. If you've been blogging even for a little while, you probably noticed that there's some pages that are just getting a massively disproportionate percentage of traffic. My #1 page is my home page. My #2 page during this date range was this blog post I wrote about inaccurate Google Analytics, followed by our portfolio, followed by a blog post about how to market an event. In other words, these pages are my traffic champions. It makes a big difference knowing that these are the traffic champions. And the reason why they're traffic champions is not because they got a spike of traffic once from email or a little tail of traffic from social media, but because they are relevant for a phrase. They get 20, 30, 40, sometimes 100 visits per day. How can we create a couple more of these traffic champions? You will feel the difference in your marketing if you can just create a couple more of these pages. You might have 1 or 2. Imagine you had 5 or 10. So what we want to do is first find the phrases for which we rank high on page 2 by looking at the queries report. Remember analytics or in acquisition, search optimization, queries. These are the phrases that you rank, the number of times they've been seen, clicked, rank itself. So if we filter this if we add a filter to show the average position for pages so that we're only looking at the ones that are greater than 2, if these are all 11s and above, these are phrases for which we rank high on page 2, right? Just below that tipping point. I'm going to show you that in slow motion. Search optimization queries, set an advanced filter so the average position is greater than 10. Include average position greater than 10. Just a little bit of advanced filtering in analytics. Now when we sort by average position, we can see that all those are all phrases for which we rank high on page 2, and now all we have to do is confirm the rank for the page. Now we're just going to indicate the relevance. Indicate relevance. That's all SEO is about. Use the phrase in the title, the header, some amount of times in the body. We should also be linking to that page from other pages. Quick refresh. The title is not on the page itself, but it's in the browser above the address bar in Firefox and in the tab in Chrome. It's what becomes the link when you rank in Google. It's the single most important piece of SEO real estate on a website. Think about it. We want to indicate our relevance here. What is the worst all-time title tag for a home page? Home, because it says nothing about the page. A unicorn cries every time someone names their homepage title tag home. Don't ever do it. It's a rookie, newbie, awful mistake. So we want to make our titles relevant and indicate that just through normal on-page SEO. The header, another place to use your keyword, how to research keywords. And the body text. Now, if you wrote the best page on the internet for the topic, you probably wrote 1,000 or 2,000 words. Using the phrase 4 to 6 times would be normal. Wouldn't be word at all. So the problem is when people just try too hard and compromise their content too much, and pretty soon you have no idea what you're looking at. This weird picture, this bear shark is a crazy hybrid. Don't try too hard. Just indicate the relevance, people. You don't try to trick a robot. Try to make a great page. But when you do go back and do this kind of retro edits based on rankings, I'm telling you this is a really fast way to improve your traffic. I got this email last summer after doing this for one of our clients. Hey, Eddie, just thought I'd let you know we're ranking on page 1 now for X and Y. It's the bottom of page 1, but we still move up 5 to 7 spots. No exaggeration. This was less than 10 minutes of work, and it was exactly the steps that I just showed you. Makes a big, big difference. We're going to quickly move on to the middle of the funnel, and I want to show you guys how to keep the center of the funnel strong because that's where a lot of the content marketing ROI happens. Getting the return visits, getting engaged. If you're not growing your list, you're missing a huge opportunity. Seth Godin describes the era we live in as a race. Not everyone knows it, but we live in a race to grow your list, your following, your influence, all those things. It's going to get harder later, so let's do it now. Here's the best trick I know for improving your conversion rate from visitor to subscriber. This is my old newsletter sign-up form. The Orbiter, we like to share our thoughts about web strategy, usability, SEO, marketing, blah, 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 blah. Want to subscribe? We changed to this. Join the 7,500 people who receive bi-weekly web marketing tips. Subscribe. That one change gave us a 1,900% increase in our newsletter sign-up rates. Big. Why did it work? Because this box is more prominent. It's a knocked out color, light on dark. It's a red thing. It's sticky. It stays in the site no matter how far down you scroll. Promise. It tells you what you're going to get. Web marketing tips. How often? Bi-weekly. And it offers proof, social proof, the number of people who subscribe. You have to offer evidence of legitimacy or don't expect anybody to convert. So if you have a weird little email sign-up box in the bottom of your site and it doesn't give people any indication, it's not prominent, it offers no promise, and there's no proof there, don't expect people to sign up. Ask yourself, wouldn't it be weird? It would be. It would be weird if someone signed up for your newsletter. So that's how it appears on our site. It's not a call to action, it's a call to conform. Jay Baer's old site, I think he's updated since then, has a big purple box, get one social thing, very simple, clear language, daily email. One thing you need to know about social, it's a clear promise. The proof is down here, prominence, promise, and proof. Here's the worst email sign-up form of all time. It's on its own page, hidden away. It's asking for 22 fields. 20 of them are required. It's just a nightmare. It's no wonder no one ever signed up. They had a 0% conversion rate because they made a big greedy form. Big mistake. So now I want to help you find which of your blog posts are doing the best job at inspiring your visitors to act. I'm going to say that again. Certain blog posts on your website are much, much more powerful at getting visitors to take action. We found we were making good cheese earlier. Now we're going to make some great mousetraps. We want to find the mousetraps, the pages that are most compelling to your audience. And it looks like this. Assuming that your blog is in its own subdirectory, such as /blog, and that there's a sign-up form on it, like that form I showed you, then we can see what pages people were reading, as in what blog posts people were reading right before they took an action and made it to the thank you page. Here's the newsletter sign-up thank you page. Here's the goal previous step one. This report is called Reverse Goal Path. And goal previous step one shows me what page they were on right before they made it to that page. Goal previous step one filtered by blog. Now I'm seeing just the blog posts that people were reading right before they made it to the newsletter sign-up page. And the number of subscribers, right? But remember, I'm not looking for the conversions. I'm looking for the conversion rate. That's what matters, because this isn't normalized for the data on page views. So I have to go to the page views and find these reports and actually find these pages and then put them all, combine that data with my total number of subscribers, and I can get the views divided by the conversions to equal the conversion rate. Look at these. I have blog posts that convert almost 2% of visitors into subscribers. Even in the top 10, these down here convert less than 0.4%. Yeah, I've got 250 blog posts on my site or something like that, maybe. I don't know. Actually, I think it's maybe 400 or 500. The bottom 10%, these are 0.01% of visitors who become subscribers. I'm going to put it even more clearly, there are pages and posts on your site that have the power to convert people at 50 times the rate of others. You've got mousetraps that are really good at catching mice, and you've got some that stink. So if you know that, which are your conversion champions, by running this report, conversions, goals, reverse funnel paths, advanced filter, goal previous step one containing blog, sort by goal completions, export to Excel, find the number of page views, and then do the calculation. Now you know where to drive traffic. Now you can get ROI. Now you can maximize ROI because you were measuring the ROI of per post, conversion rate per post. Now you wake up in the morning, you can drive traffic to any page you want. You spent 1,000 hours building a social media following. You can share whatever you want with them. You have a website where you can push stuff to the homepage. You can share whatever you want there. Put them into heavy rotation on social streams. Add it to your homepage slideshow. Link to it from your email signature. You got that $100 gift card in your drawer from Google for PPC ads. Break that out. Buy some traffic to it. Or write a guest post and link back, or include it in a roundup of your best posts, or link to it from other high traffic pages. Think about it. You've got traffic champions and conversion champions. Your main job now is to shorten the distance between those. Through simple internal linking, you can guide people from the pages that are attracting tons and tons of attention every day to the pages that are very compelling, powerful generators of action by being inspirational. So connect your best mousetraps and your best cheese. Hopefully this is all making sense. Now we're going to go to the bottom of the funnel. This is really where we have where we live and die based on the conversion rate. Conversion rates are basically, we need the motivation arrow. There's like vector geometry from high school. The motivation arrow has to be bigger and stronger than the friction arrow. So we can increase conversions by either making the motivation and messaging stronger, clear, compelling content, calls to action, easy site, non-greedy forms, and reducing the friction. Is there anything unclear? Is the content, are there unanswered questions? Is the site confusing? Is it lack of trust? That's why this guy moves over here to the goal. So I'm going to stick my neck out here and say that when you make a claim on your website, you need to support that claim with evidence. Social proof is the most common form of evidence. We talked about how compelling content is when it's created by your audience. Here's my claim. Here's my evidence. The distance is, it's all in the same field of vision. Put testimonials on every one of your service pages, your product pages. The worst place to put a testimonial is on a testimonials page. Never make a testimonials page. That's a stupid idea, but go look at your analytics. No one's going to your testimonials page. It's one of the least popular pages on your site probably because it smells like marketing. Why would I go there? Bad idea. Don't send people to a testimonials page. Send people to put testimonials all over your site. Make every page on your site a testimonials page. Everything you say is marketing, but when they say it, it's social proof. Big difference. Now, if you really want to convert, I want to compare out two types of formats for you. The first format is actually going to be just text, and I want to kind of show you just very clearly how text is going to be a weaker form of content than video.
Andy, I think unless you meant to switch over to your analytics, we're seeing that right now.
I did not mean to switch over to my analytics.
My
computer does that. Yeah.
There we go. We're back. Perfect.
You can see the text now?
Yeah, we're good.
Great. It just does that. I don't know. There may be something running in the background that causes the screen to refresh.
It just really wants us to see your analytics secrets.
I'll show the analytics in a minute. I promise. If people are just, well, I want to pull up real-time analytics at the end of this so you can see content marketing ROI in action. Text versus video. Regardless of your age, if you're searching for the answer to the question, what do you want to be when you grow up, you are not alone. Survey after survey shows the percentage of adults, blah, blah, blah. Now, compare that to this. We have this is what video looks like. Can you guys hear that a little bit?
Regardless of your age, if you're searching for the answer to the question, what do you want to be when you grow up? You are not alone. Survey after survey shows that the majority of working adults wish they could start over in a different career.
Okay. The point I'm making is that text is the weakest format for content. Video is the strongest format for content. Text requires the visitor to actually engage and read through it, where video, you're just a passive viewer. It goes straight into your brain. Text offers no body language, no tone of voice. Video, you can see the face, you can see the hands. People are credible when, have you ever read any books about interpersonal communication and body language? If people aren't as trustworthy when you hide your hands, what's the first thing a cop says if they pull you over? Show me your hands. The face is a unique image in all of marketing. Infants look at faces more than anything else from the time that they're born. If you don't have a video on your site where you explain why you're in business, what do you do, why this service is important, why the company exists, and why the service is important, you're missing a chance to convert. That's the purpose of video. Video does not increase traffic. In very few exceptions can video increase traffic. Video is a conversion optimization tool, and the about page for every website should probably have a video. So subsequent conversions, here's some very low-hanging fruit. There's a lot of sites that do this. You've got a thank you page on your site, and the worst thank you page of all time has two simple words on it, and those words are thank you. I would never make a thank you page that just says thank you because you just made a dead end on your website. You want to keep visitors flowing, keep them moving, give them subsequent actions, give them options. If you just have a thank you page that says goodbye, that says thank you, you might as well just tell people to leave. We have a thank you page that has an option to sign up on it, and every time someone becomes a lead, they can then sign up for our newsletter. This is also where they could maybe follow us on a social media account. But we'll get hundreds every year. We get hundreds of newsletter subscribers from that thank you page. The subsequent conversion, low-hanging fruit. Find and eradicate every dead end on your website. The point where there's traffic, there's hope. Visitors from any source might become a traffic. They might link to us, making search more effective, might subscribe, making email more effective, they might follow, making social more effective. Our whole goal is to keep this big vortex of activity here, knowing that the ROI happens from all these indirect benefits, but real content marketing ROI is when those people finally become a lead generation form submitter or an e-commerce customer. I've got time for a quick rant. Colors are a very powerful way to drive attention to things, and a lot of people have websites that are blue or gray or soft and clean and open. This is kind of a mock-up of a website or a mashup. It has a testimonials page, of course. We hate those. This is a marketing company, too. What's the most visually prominent thing on this page? The social media icons. Ask yourself, do you really want visitors to click on the big blue F there, or you want them to go to YouTube or go to Twitter or Pinterest? These are exits. These are visitors leaving your site. Where there's traffic, there's hope. We just saw we want to keep the visitors on our site. All good things can happen when there's traffic. I don't want any of my clients' visitors to ever leave their websites until that visitor's already become a lead or a customer. If you've got a website with big, prominent, candy-like social media buttons in the header, ask yourself, do you really want people to click those? If they click that YouTube link, they're going to be on a website that has this video. Never send people to a website that has this video. They're never going to come back. The click-through rate from YouTube to company websites is 0.7%. That's very low. So marketing best practices, if you are to keep people on your site, content marketing ROI is always, they have to be on your site for them to act. I really don't want to give people exits. I prefer for visitors not to go from the website to a social media site. I want them to come the opposite direction. I want them to come in the top of the funnel. I don't want them going backwards through the funnel. So now we're going to just break it down and kind of wind this up. The funnel, basically, I'm going to show it now as a series of pages. We create content and content marketing because we need this to happen out here. We need the content marketing ROI is based on all this activity. The subscribes, the follows, the links that make our site credible, that build up our audience, that let us offer social proof, and generate all this traffic to the blog content, knowing that even if it's a small percentage, some small percentage go from that page to a service page or a product page, from the service or product page to the about page where they can learn what we do, why we do it, all the most important things about who we are as a business. And then from there to the contact page. That's the money. That's the bottom of the funnel. We're looking at a sideways funnel here, and from the contact page to a thank you page. Right. This is where analytics records the conversion and where we can finally have measure the ROI. So in other words, I'll go back here. That was the top line awareness, the first most important number in content marketing ROI, total visitors, and the percentage of visitors who act. Right. This is just a sideways funnel. So I'm going to deconstruct these types of pages. The blog post, search optimized header, internal linking to guide people deeper, call to action for comments, if not a visit to a service page. Never post a blog post without an image. Social sharing buttons, not social exit buttons, and a big newsletter, prominent newsletter sign-up box. The idea is they go from that page to a service page, another search optimized title, potentially video, social proof, never make a claim without supporting it. Internal linking, call to action, never make a page that's a dead end. Right? We want to get people deeper. Now they wonder, okay, I have a theory that storytelling is important in content marketing, but it's not the most important thing. It's not the first question a visitor asks. The first thing a visitor asks is, can this content help me? Well, am I in the right place? But if it's a trust-based sale, if it's a consultative sale, more than one decision maker, high consideration service, B2B companies are often like this. Now you do have to tell your story. You have to convey those values and tell your origin. And you do it on the service page. This is also where you become a person, right? Be a person, have faces of your team, faces again, totally unique image in marketing. These should link to an individual page for each person. Those pages can then rank for the people's names, so build out a team section for pretty much any site. So that's the About page. Now we get to the Contact page. Remove all distractions. Short, simple form, as few fields as possible. Put the basics of the rest of the content, contact information there. And then when they finally get to the thank you page, give them a nice thank you message, offer to lift to subscribe, or here finally is the only place where I'm really okay with them leaving the site and becoming a social media follower. Bottom line, okay, don't compare your beginning to someone else's middle. We've been doing this for 8 years. Again, 15 years in SEO and 8 years of content marketing and blogging, social, and email. We are at the point now where we'll generate 1,600 leads per year. That's way, way, way more leads than we need. Good content marketers who do this long enough, they niche down into a specific topic, they know what their content marketing mission statement is, they think as their audience, they're optimizing their site for conversions, they're optimizing their site for traffic. You will eventually generate so much demand that you will have to either raise your prices or grow your team. That's the ROI of content marketing. You will have to raise your prices or grow your team because you can. It's totally possible in most niches today to exceed the activities, exceed the efforts of other companies. Most people don't know these things we just did, and to generate much more demand than your competitors, and steal that market share and grow the bottom line. That's the ROI of it all. So I'm going to tab out, and you can see my real-time analytics in just a second here, but I will offer you guys, maybe we can make these links available. I have a content marketing template that I use. It's just a Google Doc. It forces you to think about content promotion every time you use it to write, whether it's a blog post or a guest blog post or a newsletter. You cannot use this template without thinking ahead of time about who you're going to share it with and co-creators and subject lines and that stuff. So happy to share that if anyone wants it. Also, here's a link. Here's the book. You can find it on Amazon, or you just search for Content Chemistry. You can find it on the Orbit site. We're going to take a couple of questions. I'll bring these slides back up because we want to make sure you guys know about the next upcoming webinar. But Quinn, if you'd like, want me to, we've got just enough time. Should I pull up real time and we can leave that up while we take a few questions?
Show it, yeah, and then we'll jump into a few questions after that. Great.
So this is a medium time of traffic for me right now. It's actually, there's only 4 visitors on the site. When this started, I think we had like 18 or something, but this is still enough to make the point. There are, any time of day that I look at the analytics for the Orbit site, I will find that half or more of the visitors are visiting blog content. Here they come. Someone's looking at the book page, so that might have been one of you. So there's 3 people. There's 3 people on the blog out of 5 total visitors. 2 are reading the most recent post. Like there's 1 person on the home page. 2 of them came from search. 1 came from a social media network. So if we sit here long enough and just watch real-time analytics, we will eventually see people turn into leads. It happens between 5 and 10 times per day. So if you ever were skeptical about the power of content marketing, just sit back and look at real-time analytics for any site that's been doing it for any length of time, and you can watch people move from high-ranking blog post content through to newsletter subscriber thank you pages. People come into the service pages through the about process and into the contact form. So there's absolutely no question that content marketing ROI is potentially huge, but as you can see, there are a lot of little things that we have to do to get it right, and content marketing isn't one thing. It's a combination of a dozen little things. But every action that we take as content marketers must be focused on one of 2 outcomes: increasing traffic or growing the percentage of people who take action. If it's not affecting one of those 2 numbers, it is simply not worth it. Those are the 2 most important metrics and the real way to stay laser beam focused on your content marketing ROI. That was 40 minutes almost exactly, Quinn. How'd we do?
Yeah, perfect timing. Well, now we have some time for questions, so it's perfect. So we've got a question from Greg, and he asked, regarding exit rate based on internal search, kind of what you talked about at the beginning, what if they found what they are looking for and then they left? Would time spent on the page be another metric to look at before we assume they left without finding what they needed?
Well, the exit page, if the exit page is a search results page, that means they never left the search results page. So in that report that I showed, and we'll share the slides, and it was somewhere about halfway down, if the person searched for something and then on the search results page they didn't even click once, that means they presumably did not find anything they were looking for. But sure, there's lots of reasons why an exit from a website is not a bad thing. People often find what they're looking for. If you take a look at anyone that's been doing analytics or blogging for a while and writes, search optimized blog posts, it's extremely common to see very high bounce rates and exits from pages simply because these visitors found what they were looking for, were satisfied with the answers we provided, and then left. Let's zoom in on my content report on top content here. How to market an event. 92% bounce rate. Does that bother me? Not at all. These people spend 6 minutes on these pages they spend 6 minutes on that page on average. An average visit of 6 minutes. So what if 92% of them left? They came. I have the chance now to send them deeper into the site. I have the chance to convert them into a follower or a subscriber. So no, it's very common, especially in search-optimized content marketing blog posts, that you'll have very high bounce rates. It skews the overall bounce rate, but maybe you've heard this before. If your overall bounce rate is below 80%, you probably aren't marketing hard enough. Your bounce rate should be probably 80% if you were writing lots of high-ranking, useful, helpful content marketing pages. Your bounce rate should be very high. Put any popular blog into Alexa.com. It'll show you a bounce rate estimate, and they're all extremely high. It's not a bad thing.
Great. Then we have a question from Eric, and he asks, how do top-of-the-funnel leads convert to closed business, and how do you connect the dots between those to measure ROI based on revenue?
That is a question that goes beyond marketing and goes beyond the scope of my ability to teach, because what happens when a person actually becomes a lead? This was that early slide where I was showing really the price of your services and the delivery costs. That question is not the question there is about the connection between marketing and sales. Mm-hmm. And to really make that connection, you can either use a marketing automation tool that will manage that lead after they're in the sales funnel. The sales funnel is below the marketing funnel, and track the percentage closed to new business from each of those leads, so you can try to connect all the dots. Or you just do very careful measurement through offline tools or spreadsheets, or I know people that track to see which type of lead from which source went how far down the sales path. So no, this is really just about marketing ROI, but the actual dollars has to do with your ability to close the business in a sales context. It's a good question.
Which isn't always easy, I know. We use HubSpot, and we're still figuring out the right process to get that really, really honed in. So good question.
Very hard. Yeah.
And answer. We have another question from Troy. He asked, what about search engines that need text to crawl to help provide relevant search results on the search engine results page? Isn't that hard to get with video only?
Oh, yeah, for sure. The ideal of video doesn't do anything for your SEO. As I said, videos don't sell people. They don't help you rank at all. So that video, but I'm going to show you a combination. Chicago, this is on that site we just looked at. Chicago Career Coaching. I search Google for Chicago Career Coaching. The #1 ranked page is this Chicago Career Coaching page. This page is optimized to rank in search. It's a page that is called Career Coaching in the navigation. It's the H1 tag. It's the H2 tag. There's 600 words here. There's testimonials. But that video is really just right here. It's just designed to maximize the percentage of people who act. Video is about conversions. Text is for search engines. We used to say it's not strictly true. Text is for robots and search engine and video is for humans. The general idea is these videos, all these video testimonials here, this is conversion optimization, but getting the page to rank, that's search optimization. So traffic times conversion rate. This happens to be a page that is the mousetrap and cheese all in one. This page will will attract visitors all by itself and convert visitors all by itself. That site generates between 2 and 4 leads per week just from this single page. Beautiful search optimized, mobile optimized, conversion optimized page. This is how to make a lot of money on the internet.
Yeah, it looked really nice. Since we're talking about a specific topic type, we do have a question about webinars and the languaging around webinars. So Dan asked, we promote our webinars. Is the term free webinar viewed as spammy, or does it attract attendees?
Free webinar?
Yeah, free.
It's a good question. Conventional wisdom is that free is almost a unique term in all of marketing, in that it can actually it's used everywhere because it's just so powerful. But it's going to be a case-by-case basis, right? It depends on the target audience. There are going to be types of people that are turned off by the word free. They're not, they don't want something that sounds cheap. There are audiences that will pay more, that are more attracted to something the more it costs. Luxury categories would be like that. I think that when you're using language in marketing, you're really just trying to increase the click-through rate. Suppose you share that using that word from an email or from a social post. If that you could test it, you could watch it, try it different ways in both places, both in the email or social streams and on the landing page. I think there's an expectation that webinars are free and education and content on the internet is free. So I would suggest probably you're not going to see a big difference whether you use it or not.
And then we have one last question since we have a couple minutes from Tyler. He says, will the queries report in Google Analytics show you what search terms were used if it was an encrypted search session?
Yes. Yes, it does, because the data that you want, that you're probably asking about, is here I'll show you in Analytics. So I'm going to go to Acquisition, Search Engine Optimization Queries. So what Google, and it doesn't show data for the last few days. It doesn't show data past the last few months. But this data is search is all encrypted basically, more than 95%. But what Google is not telling us is what these people did when they got to the site. It doesn't even tell us what page they landed on. The only data we get is basically the Google Webmaster Tools data, the number of impressions, the number of clicks, the average position, and the click-through rate. So Google is fine sharing this data with us at this level. What they don't share with us is people who searched for this phrase landed on this page. They spent this number of pages per visit, this number of minutes per page. So I don't even look at it anymore, but I think that data was somewhere else in here. Traffic, keywords. Keyword data is all not provided now. Organic search, I don't even look at it because it's like 90. The report is basically empty. It's all, yeah, look at this. So here's the data. Here's the data we don't get. These are 94%. I'm going to switch this to the pie chart view and choose sessions. 94% of my keyword data relative to behavior is not provided. Very few searches are not encrypted, and examples of where you do get the data. So I think that was the question. Now the queries report, you get it all. It's still there, and it's very, very valuable.
Nice.
So I'll show it now. Advanced filter. Include average position greater than 10. Apply, sort by average position, and these are the phrases for which I rank high on page 2. That was 5 clicks, 10 clicks, literally. I rank high on page 2 for these phrases. Travel, web design. I should do optimization right now and optimize this page better for travel web design. I'm going to make more money tomorrow. It'll just take a minute. Anyway, you get the idea. Nice.
Yeah, thanks for showing us that live, too.
Sure.
I think that's all the time we have, but thank you so much, Andy. I learned a lot, and I think by the engagement I got in questions, I think we all learned a lot and still want more, so I appreciate it.
Great. I'm happy to help. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah. And thank you for everyone for joining us. We will be sending out a recording and the slides, so you will get that, if not today, then tomorrow morning. And also, please mark your calendar for our next webinar. We do these every month. It's going to be on March 12th with Byron White. He's the founder of Writers Access, a really smart guy, and he'll be speaking on the topic of content marketing as a team sport. So this will actually go into the implementation process of who needs to do what, how do they need to do it, and how do you create processes internally to make content marketing work within your organization. So something I'm really interested in, and I think it will be a great one for anyone that attends. So registration is open for that over on our website, verticalmeasures.com/webinars. And again, thank you, Andy. I'm Quinn from Vertical Measures, and we'll go ahead and call that a day. Have a good one.
Bye-bye. Thanks, Quinn.